Welcome back to Little Big Wins. This is my little podcast, my little space, my little acre online, the internet, where I get to just talk about the little things that are little to the world, of which does not care about anything I do, let alone the little things that I do. There's no prestige in the little things that I talk about. However, these little things have made a big impact in my life because they have led me towards much needed healings. So in that, we have little big wins. Maybe you probably feel the same way. You've got some things going on in your life. You're not quite feeling the external support, maybe from other people or organizations, or just even in society in general, but you know that there's something there that you value and cherish, and you want to be able to hold it, no matter how fragile. Well, it appears and it seems probably feels more fragile because the world really does not perceive it in its great importance the way that you might do. You might see it or perceive it, and you might be doing it secretively, because you have to protect it. So, anyway, I just want to tell you, you've got total support here. This is a safe space where you can feel like I do. Little things that the world really does not care about that you're able to express or feel, but they're important to you. They're big to you because they do truly lead to particular healings. Okay, today I want to talk about something very little. I almost want to say dating and romance part 4. It's been a little while since the last dating and romance post I made. And this has something to do with, this is particularly struck up in me due to the, not super recent, but there was a trend a little while back where people capture on TikTok and on Instagram or on YouTube them passionately and romantically, maybe jokingly, kissing their platonic best friend. And I tend to stick to the heterosexual relationships because that's really the orientation that I actually identify with and live with, and live in, and so I can only comment on that. And so anyway, in my interest in watching these cute little videos, it just incited some thoughts in my mind. I've had a lot of males who have been my friends, and I really appreciate their I really appreciate them in my life. However, they tend to, some of them I have been attracted to, absolutely. Most of them, I just enjoy their company, and I enjoy that they've got attractions to me, and then I keep them around. I mean, I know I sound horrible. I just like their muscles around, and they're being willing to be there to help me with this physically, with that as a soundboard, emotionally even. So hats off to all the platonic men that have been in my life and have just helped me appreciate myself as a person, and as a very girly girl. However, when it comes to formulating that friendship into a romance, I've only allowed one of those to turn into a romantic relationship. Just one of them. The others, if they did say platonic, and they may have been romantic, but I did not allow them to turn into relationships, partly because I have a tendency of testing men. This is so horrible of me almost to even do this, but number one, to also be a little more public about it, all the while being horrible at concealing my identity here on this podcast that I was trying to be anonymous on. Well, anyway, I just meant by being their friends, hanging out, doing fun things together, and I enjoy their company. But if I can almost gather if we'll have something deeper, often within the first 5 minutes. But the one guy that I did not detect that with early on, I ended up having a romantic relationship with. Not just being romantic and having a friend with benefits, like kissy benefits or huggy benefits or cuddly benefits. But, yeah, it's a relationship, a romantic relationship, which sadly ended. I would say, sadly, a lot of my guy pal relationships have ended badly. I've kept a few of them that are not, that are still ongoing. And they're smaller in number as I get up in age, of course. And as I get up in age, I have less tolerance for this extra fluff. And last year, about spring, I ended a relationship that was, we started out as platonic friends, and then we just got a little romantic, but I never allowed it to turn into a relationship, and often he did, and he wanted it, and I just couldn't. A lot of it was because he was far younger than me, and I really did not want to be the one person in his life that stopped him from having kids, and to have that family life. I cared enough about him to find a way that I'm out of his life so that he can move on with his. And so that kind of thing. And I'm not sad about it. I feel like I'm really helping him. There are days when I miss a lot of these guys, doing fun things with, traveling with, eating together with, working out with, going to the beach together with, just talking and holding. I have decided, however, that after last year, after I had to step away from the last guy that I was a little romantic with, though non-relationship with, as far as romantic relationship, just friendship only, that I should probably just break free of that. I have basically been dating this way since my own divorce. And ironically, the guy I'm divorced from, he and I started out as platonic friends, and I had found out a lot about him and really started to grow attraction for him. And he had long already been attracted to me. And but sadly, just because of mental health issues and a couple other very irreversible choices he made, I just had to end it. It was ended up really badly, which I'm really sad about because I remember my great friendship with him as well, and so I'm just so sad that I lost that too. In addition to that, though, I've had several male friends who've been so wonderful. Whether as we became kissy friends or not, I have really enjoyed their company. I still do. But I have backed off a little bit from that since last spring. Since early last spring. And decided to go a little more, well, not a little bit more, but significantly more independent about things so I can do some focusing of other things in my own life. But I do miss having several of them at a time as good friends to hang out with. I also want to mention, on the other, I have never chased these men. So it's really cute to see a lot of the women and the girls kiss the guys on these videos. These TikTok videos are really cute. And then it seems even more titillating when the men, of course, lean over to kiss the gal. It's just really cute. I wanted to talk a little bit about that, just a little bit further, outside of the commentary I've already made in this particular podcast. There's a little bit of a fear I have that there is you currently have a friendship with, or I often have had friendships with men, and then there's hangouts, and then there's talks, and but I always fear that along the horizon in the future somewhere, maybe the near future, maybe a later future, that friendship will end. And maybe out of a betrayal, or maybe out of just pure boredom. Those things, that's a very real thing. Boredom is a really real thing between a man and a woman, for sure. But it'll just end badly, and then a sadness replaces or is added to a memory of someone that was once in your life, and it can be really all-consuming. At least for me, it can. That those fun times with that particular person historically has ended. And so I, with some caution, I want to talk about adding a romance and a romance relationship to a friendship. And so I know we all know of the dangers and the possible jeopardy that could put your friendship in, your platonic, friendly friendship in. So I definitely see that side of the aisle. Absolutely. Hey man, totally. And yet, on the other hand, while there are countless endings of what once was a friendship turned into a romantical thing, and then romantical relationship, and then sadly down a very sour, broken path which ended the friendship, and that's how it came full circle. Yes, there's plenty of those, and I caution against those. Yet, on the other hand, sometimes that is the natural course of progression between a man and a woman. Their great friendship turns into something that is ready for something more needful for each other. Look, I'm not here saying, every wonderful friendship between a man and a woman turns out to be a wonderful marriage and a wonderful future and a forever future. No, not at all. I definitely learned that firsthand. And you know what? I knew that too, and I had experiences even before my marriage in that very thing. So I'm not here trying to say that. I am saying that there are losses that could be had if you jump into a romantical situation and or romantical relationship situation, and or it's complicated situation. Totally understandable. Totally, there are pitfalls in going in a direction, leaping from and launching from a friendship into something more. And so please know that I know that, and I see all the complexities in that as well. And yet, on the other hand, there is a really wonderful thing that happens that might be a good idea to go along that path where you actually both are ready to try romantical phases that turn into romantical relationships, and on and on. And I think if that's a natural progression for any person headed in that direction, I think the regret would be not to try. And that's just hypocritical of me, because I've only tried really with just one of those men that I've been really platonically friendly with. So And I have had boyfriends and romantic relationships with men, and I wasn't friends with them first. It started off romantic. Well, where are they now? Nowhere to be found. Ha ha. And I never had a friendship with them. And I wonder if that's just part of life. Some of the men in my life were romantic partners. Some of them were just guys that were friends, and some of them headed in a romantic situation, and some of them ended up in a romantic. Well, one of them ended up in a romantic relationship that went further than just girlfriend and boyfriend. I full on married him. Okay, no, I did have a couple others that were relationships, but I was not invested in those, is what I meant to say. I was just kind of going along with, which is not fair. So I'm really revealing how awful a dater I am. However, I tell people, yeah, I'm a very good and polite dater. I may not even like them if they ask me out. I'm polite, or if I'm attracted enough to them. Yeah, okay, I'll go. Even that sounds picky. So anyway, that's what incited me to talk about this topic. Are those videos that were once really popular about people capturing, unbeknownst to their friend opposite them, that they're trying to kiss them, maybe passionately and platonically. I would say 80% of the time, the person they kissed that didn't know that they were going to be kissed, kissed them right back and enjoyed it. And then it was clearly a romantical moment. It's not clear if these romantical moments turned into romantical relationships. I don't know. But the claim is that they had been advertised on these social media platforms as just being friends, platonic friends, no strings attached romantically before that, which made it all the more titillating to watch, right? And it draws you in. It drew me in, and they were fun to watch. I have never been the gal to try to kiss the guy, though. It's often been the other guy trying to kiss me, which is interesting. I don't know if I'm like ballsy enough to actually to try to kiss them. So anyway, I just wanted to bring that up. Why is that important? This is like stupid stuff to talk about. On the other hand, it is really important to talk about, because then you might be wondering about your romantic situations, or really you're trying to understand yourself in any romantic situation, especially when you're maybe you're a gal like me, and you're in a friendship with a guy, and maybe you like him more than just as a friend. You see him off dating other gals, but he always comes back to you because you see in your mind that it's you're the go-to girl buddy. But you have this rising feeling in you that you maybe would like to be like front and center stage, his first choice to be a girlfriend. I totally understand that, absolutely. So I wanted to bring that up because it could be you might be in a sticky situation like that, and you don't know how to approach it. Maybe you should try a video online where you play some music and you try to plant one on him to really see what he says. I do caution, this is like a for real caution, if he's already taken it and he's already with the gal, I would respect the other gal's wishes who was actually seeing him and not try to plant one on them. In fact, and the really honorable thing to do is to just stay away. If he has not asked you to be with him formally, maybe just stay away, because you know that you've got feelings for him, and there's something tells me that there's something subversive in that, manipulating. If you have feelings for him, but he's seeing someone else, but then you insist on being around him, or you are always there when he calls to hang out with you, I think maybe you should like put the kibosh on hanging out with him. Just out of consideration for the gal that he's actually going steady with, or trying to see, or trying to date. This is my little side note, caveat, and just heads up on that. Just a little bit of wisdom. And that good karma, by the way, I feel it does come back around you for sure. Side note, I literally get gag reflexes when I see a man who is so hot, but then if I find out if he's married, or if he's engaged, or he's actually dating somebody, I suddenly just have no interest in him at all. It's like, ugh. And I'm really happy I have that about me. It makes me a good and loyal friend to my gal pals. And it protects, if they have families, if they have relationships that they are trying to protect. Of course, I'm number one loyal. Number one. I'm like loyal to the top with that, with my friends and my family. Anyway, however, if you're in a situation where you're the girl and your guy friend is like not really seeing one person steady, that might be a good time to try that. That video where you plant a kisser on him. A kisser on his kisser. If you want to do that. Vice versa too, if you're a dude that hangs out with a gal. And she's not really seeing anyone steady, that might be the time to actually plant one on her. And I think, however, though, men and women these days are still a little bit leery about kissing someone without their permission ahead of time, because of the legal atmosphere and environment we live in today. A la sexual harassment. There's a lot of things to think about this. I mean, it might seem like this little insignificant thing brought up by stupid videos that we see on TikTok. On the other hand, these are interesting emotion-based actions related to romance, or linked to romance and human attraction. People are interested in this, and so I think they also want to get it right. And so I bring it up to just spark a conversation with yourself or someone. I'm trying to spark a conversation with you. Feel free to DM me with any more questions. I'd be happy to entertain them and address them here on Little Big Wins. Again, I want to say that I bring up little things that I have thoughts on and expressions of and intentions towards. But human attraction is, that's not a little thing. That's actually a really big thing. What I'm doing is talking about it in an open and safe way, and not a gross way, I hope, so that you feel comfortable enough to think about those things in your own thoughts, and to not view yourself as a freakazoid, a bizarro, who has wild thoughts. No, if you have these same thoughts that I've expressed here, then you're probably just actually quite normal. And maybe you're waiting for someone to say that to you, and I'm here to say that to you. Anyway, so dating and romance, part 4, platonic relationships, and in relation to dating and romance. Okay, well, I hope this was a fun, if not, I hope it wasn't overly confusing in the way I'm expressing it. I get so excited about talking about dating and romance that sometimes I talk in these circles and then off on these tangents, and it's just so exciting to talk about. Okay, well, thanks again for joining us here on Little Big Wins.